Felicitous greetings, fellow fanatics. Happy New Year, one and all. I'm Adam the Fanatic, and today we're taking a look at Boxtop Pinball Haunted House, a family-weight dexterity game by Pandasaurus. Please do pardon my voice. I'm recovering from a minor cough, and my voice isn't quite back to 100% yet. Without any further ado, let's dive in. In Boxtop Pinball, 2 to 4 players will take turns flicking dice down a series of boxes, attempting to strike monsters, collect clues, or land in special multiplier zones. You'll gather points over the course of 3 rounds, and at the end of it all, the player with the highest score is the winner. To set up, begin by taking the 4 boxes and arranging them from tallest to shortest. Make sure you orient everything so that it's readable from the side with the highest box. Next, take the 5 walls and 3 stopper pieces and carefully slide each of them into their respective spaces. Each of these is labeled to make things easier, and the pictures should line up if you did this properly. Take Medusa, Frank, and Bob, and if you haven't already done so, put them in their standees. After that, place Medusa in front of the top hole, Frank in front of the middle one, and Bob in front of the bottom one. Again, all these are labeled on the boxes. Shuffle up the clue tokens. Be sure not to look at them and randomly place 1 on each of the marked spots. There should be 2 on each level for 6 in total. Make sure you have the score pad and something to write with. Then, each player chooses a color and takes 6 dice. Choose the player to go first, and with that, you're ready to begin. Gameplay takes place over the course of 3 rounds. In each round, you'll get 4 turns to flick dice. On your turn, take 1 die and place it on top of the tallest box. You may reposition the box by sliding it from side to side, as long as it never goes past the sides of the wider box in front of it. Once you have things positioned the way you want, flick your die. If you hit any monsters, immediately mark it on the score sheet. It only benefits you to hit a monster once per round, but you take no penalty for hitting one that you already did earlier. When you hit a monster on your turn, replace it on the marked spot on the next box down before the next player takes their turn. If you hit a monster on the bottom box, it'll move back up to the top level. If you hit a clue so that it's knocked out of its area, even if you do so by hitting someone else's die into it, then you'll collect that clue. Don't look at it yet, but it'll give you extra points at the end of the game. If you land a die in the bonus zone, you'll immediately take another turn and flick one of your 2 extra dice. In case it's not already implicit, you may do this up to twice per round. After resetting monsters if necessary, play passes to the next player, and turns will alternate like this until everyone has flicked 4 dice, plus up to 2 extra from the bonus zone. After that, you'll tally up the points for the round. Again, do not look at the clues unless this is the final round. First, check to see how many different monsters you hit during the round. If you only hit 1 of them, you'll score 2 points. If you hit 2 different monsters, you'll score 5. And if you manage to get all 3 of them, you'll score 10 points. Additionally, look at any of your dice that are on the board. Each die that manages to remain there at the end of the round scores its face value from 1 to 3. Additionally, if a die is within any of the multiplier zones, you'll take that into account when scoring that die, doubling, tripling, or if you're especially skilled, or just lucky, even quintupling it. Total up the value of your dice, then add it to the points you received for monsters to get your subtotal for that round. Reset the round by having everyone take their dice back, resetting the monsters onto the spots in front of the holes, and refilling any clues that were claimed during the round. Once you've played 3 rounds, take a look at the clues you claimed and total them up. Add that to the subtotals to get your total. Whomever has the highest score wins. In case of a tie, among tied players, the player with the highest subtotal for the final round wins. Component-wise, the game is fairly solid. The art has a vibrant, cartoony look, and when everything is set up, it certainly has a lot of table presence. It should also be noted that they did a pretty good job of making sure that the game is decorated 360 degrees. No matter which angle you look at it from, the boxes are decorated all around. The smaller boxes are made with the same thickness as the main box, and multiple silica packets are included, which will hopefully help to prevent warping over time. Monsters are rather simple standees. Once assembled, you can keep them on to minimize the chance of these tearing them up over time. The dice are light wooden dice, which is probably a good thing as it minimizes the damage to the boxes as they're bouncing around. On the downside, some of the dice were sticking together when I first opened the game, which has resulted in some of them having a bit of paint from other dice. Storage-wise, everything fits back in rather easily, but there's no insert to speak of. The game does come with 2 plastic baggies to keep the dice and clues in, and once everything is fit in, you have a thin sleeve to place around the box. All in all, Boxtop Pinball is a fun, very light title that you can enjoy with children, hobbyists, or anyone in between. It's simple enough that you can teach it in minutes, and plays quickly enough that you can even use it as a filler title if you wish. The gameplay is simple yet solid, although I do have to question if the randomness of the clues is really necessary. Thematically, I do find the game to be a bit of a mismatch. Aesthetically, it is decorated to look like a pinball machine, but mechanically, nothing about it really feels like pinball to me. And even on the aesthetic note, why didn't they call the bonus zone multi-ball? Regardless of this mismatch, I did find it to be a fun game, and I do recommend it highly for family game nights. If you like the concept as a dexterity game, but aren't fond of the haunted house theme, then they are releasing another title in the near future, which will be called Boxtop Pinball Welcome to Las Vegas. As of the time of recording, there's little information on this one beyond the title, and we don't yet know how it'll differ from Haunted House. Regardless, I had a great time with this one, and it's definitely going to be joining Catch the Moon as one of my regular recommend to anyone type games. Also like Catch the Moon, I feel I'm not very good at the game, but at this point I just kind of accept that I'm terrible at dexterity titles. Despite this, I find Boxtop Pinball Haunted House to be an enjoyable title, and I find it to be worthy of a solid 7.8 out of 10. If you're interested in purchasing Boxtop Pinball, my first suggestion, as always, is to check with your friendly local game store to see if they can get it in stock. If you're unable to find it, or simply wish to learn more, links are included in the description. But what about you? What do you think of Boxtop Pinball? What dexterity games do you enjoy? If you have any questions, remarks, or posing points of view, leave them in the comments down below, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell. If you really enjoy my work, please consider funding my channel on Patreon. Until next time, farewell, fellow fanatics. Thank you again for watching. I have plenty more to share with you if you're interested. You can click up here above my head to subscribe to my channel. You can click over here on my monitor to see the most recent video that I've worked on. Or if you prefer, you can click up here to open this mysterious vault and see what video that the YouTube algorithm has picked just for you.